The concept of wu-wei, which influenced certain European thinkers in the Age of Enlightenment, is sometimes misinterpreted if not investigated in depth. Its literal translation is non-action, and it appears in the Tao Te Ching as, for example, chapter 3, when there is this abstinence from action, that is, wu-wei, good order is universal. Chapter 37, the Tao in its regular course does nothing for the sake of doing it, that is, wu-wei, and so there is nothing which it does not do. Chapter 57, therefore, a sage has said, I will do nothing of purpose, that is, wu-wei, and the people will be transformed of themselves. And in the Chuang, wu-wei appears as, chapter 11, on letting alone, by means of inaction, that is, wu-wei, he will be able to adapt himself to the natural conditions of existence. And so it is that he who respects the state as his own body is fit to support it, and he who loves the state as his own body, is fit to govern it. And if I can refrain from injuring my internal economy, and from taxing my powers of sight and hearing, sitting like a corpse while my dragon power is manifested around, in profound silence while my thunder voice resounds, the powers of heaven responding to every phase of my will, as under the yielding influence of inaction, that is, wu-wei, all things are brought to maturity and thrive, what leisure then have I to set about governing the world? This can lead many people to think that wu-wei is literally no action, absence of action. But, far from it, wu-wei is about acting non-coercively, acting non-forcefully. Understanding wu-wei is so important that it becomes almost obligatory for commentators of Taoist works to talk about its meaning to better guide their readers. Eva Wong says, one of the most famous ideas of Taoism, and also the source of a lot of misunderstanding, is wu-wei. This word, used in describing the sage and often translated as non-action, gives the impression that the Taoist sages did nothing. This is inaccurate, and could not be used to describe all Taoists. Wu-wei had different meanings for different Taoist philosophers. The wu-wei of the Tao Te Ching is different from the wu-wei of Chuang, which is different again from the wu-wei of Lieh. Wu-wei in the Tao Te Ching is going with the principles of the Tao, and the path of the Tao is a benevolent one. Thus, wu-wei in the Tao Te Ching is not doing nothing, it is not even the non-interference advocated in the Chuang. In the Tao Te Ching, wu-wei means not using force. The sagely ruler who cares for his subjects in a non-intrusive way also practices wu-wei. Far from doing nothing, the Taoist sage of the Tao Te Ching is an active member of society and is fit to be a king. Not only do Taoist authors use the term with a different meaning in their works, as Eva Wong explained previously, but other Chinese philosophies also use the term and end up contributing to the misunderstanding. In order to taste the delicious meal Lieh provided for humanity, we need to understand the core tenet of almost all Chinese philosophical systems. This foundational pillar of Chinese philosophy is found within the classics of Eastern thought. Notably the Tao Te Ching, the Analects of Confucius, the Chuang, attributed to Chuang, and even the Indian text the Bhagavad Gita. Jason Gregory says, the core pillar of these classics, in China especially, is believed to originate from Lieh, and it is his essential teaching that is veiled within the mystery of the Chinese word wu-wei, which is the core of Chinese philosophy and a predominant principle in Eastern thought. This word is shrouded in misinterpretation. The main confusion arises from the Confucian translation of wei wu-wei, which literally means doing non-doing. This interpretation is built on Confucius's philosophy of trying to install the eternal Tao and its virtue into our character as if it were some external agency. This is the completely opposite perspective to Lieh's teaching of naturalness. Translated into English, wu-wei means non-doing, non-action, or effortless action. These translations are literally correct and lead us to the intuitive and ultimate psychological experience of wu-wei. This effortless psychological experience means not forcing or allowing, a state of intelligent spontaneity. Wu-wei covers every situation in your life. From friendship, love and family relationships, to how a ruler should act. In fact, most of the Tao Te Ching is precisely about government. When the term is used for the latter, wu-wei should be understood as the political principle of refraining from using political authority to impose control on man's natural condition, according to Roger Ames. The principle of laissez-faire that Westerners are so used to did not derive from wu-wei for nothing, but it should be remembered that, unlike laissez-faire, which is commonly associated only with the political principle, wu-wei goes far beyond politics. It encompasses your relationship with the world as a whole, your relationship with your friend, spouse, parent, child, sibling, work, studies, with the environment, and even with yourself. The end.